Hey guys, my name is Boise and welcome to Smack Talk's Raw Review, where we look at this week's episode of Raw and we see if WWE either tried to fix what happened at Hell in a Cell, or did they try to put their heads in the sand and pretend it never happened. We'll have to find out. Just like any other review channel, we're going to look at all the segments from Raw. We're going to tell you my thoughts and opinions about them, and then I'm going to give Raw a mark out of 5 at the end of this video. If you do like what you hear and see, please remember to like, subscribe and press that bell to keep notified. Now that's all said and done, let's get straight on with the Raw review. So we kicked off the show with Rusev being beaten down by Randy Orton and Baron Corbin. As you know, Rusev is part of Team Hogan, Corbin and Orton are part of Team Flair. They were beating the crap out of Rusev. Rusev manages to power out of both of them. He's keeping an eye on them too before, next thing we know, Bobby Lashley turns up on the big screen. He is in a robe. He's at Rusev's former home, and he's in Rusev's bedroom. He gets into bed and Lana joins him. Him and Lana pretty much cut a heel promo stating that Lana has now changed everything under her name. The house, the bank account, everything like that is under her name. And this pretty much again is continuing the storyline between Bobby Lashley, Lana and Rusev, which could be quite interesting. We'll see how that goes with the draft on Friday. But yeah, it was different. Randy Orton and Corbin were laughing at Rusev. Rusev absolutely lost it. He took out both Baron Corbin and Randy Orton in quite vicious style, shouting at him, "Are you laughing at me? Are you laughing at me now?" This was cool. This is a different way to open the show. Obviously we were expecting that match because that was announced on the Twitter page, and then obviously doing it this way is different. It is a good way. It continues the Bobby Lashley and Rusev storyline, making Lana very much a heel character in the making, and Rusev the sympathetic babyface in this, as well as being very aggressive. I thought this was a great idea, having him beat the crap out of Corbin and Orton, because those two have been having big pushes right now in WWE, so having him beat them with quite ease as well and anger was a very smart, creative idea in my opinion. So for me, a good start to start the show. It starts everything up. It still has the Flair Hogan matchup, as well as the Bobby Lashley Rusev storyline. So very good start from WWE Raw. Match I wasn't really too fussed about when it was announced at Hell in a Cell was Natalya versus Lacey Evans, a last woman standing match. The reason I've not really been that fussed with this rivalry, and I don't think the crowd really was, but damn, they really stole it for me tonight. Lacey Evans got a great promo talking about how this is the end of a feud, and at the end of anything you take the trash out, and she had a trash can with Natalya's name on. I thought that would have had a lot more use in the match, but it really didn't. It was only kind of used near the end, and it wasn't really used that well. So that was a bit of a shame. Wasted opportunity there for Lacey Evans. But damn, a good start for the show really. Natalya very quickly going after Lacey Evans. She puts Lacey Evans in the sharpshooter. Obviously this is a last woman standing match, so there's no DQs, there's no submissions, there's no pinfalls, it's just a 10 count. But putting Lacey in the sharpshooter was very smart. It didn't seem to affect Lacey that much. Again, Lacey has come leaps and bounds since coming from NXT, but there's still those bits and bats where you expect her to sell a little bit more, and again, she should have sold the back. The sharpshooter is one of the best and most deadly submission moves in WWE. Natalya's famous for it. So, you know, the selling of the legs and the lower back would have been a little bit better. Lacey Evans was in control, I would say 80% of this match. There was a few times where it did look like Natalya was going to get counted out by 10. It seemed like she was counting out, even like Lawler said, look, it looked like it was a 10 count there, and the referee kind of stopped before obviously making sure that that doesn't happen. Both women going from everywhere. Again, like I stated, Lacey Evans finally used the the trash can on Natalya, been through the trash which was in it. So that, you know, a bit of surprise that actually used real trash, threw it in Natalya's face, dragging her up and down the stage. There was kendo sticks being used. There was a really smart little bit in this match where Lacey Evans locks Natalya into a chair, pushes her down. She's locked in because the kendo stick. It looked like that was a very clever way to end the match, in my opinion. But Natalya manages to get out of that in time. Both women are fighting at top of the stage, on top of the announcers table, at top of the stage. Then Natalya finally powers up. There's a power bomb from top of the stage into a side table. Lacey Evans can't get up in time, and Natalya wins the last woman standing match. Very good match from a feud which I don't think many people really truly cared about, to having a very good match on Raw. Yeah, if I think this is a good way to end the feud. Have Natalya win it in that kind of way. She's been pushed. It really makes Evans look strong even though she lost, and it makes Natalya look strong as well for, you know, towards the draft pick. So for me, very good start from Raw so far. Next up, we had the Viking Raiders versus the Raw Tag Team Champions, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. This again, I was kind of expecting these two teams to face up at some point down the line, but not this early. And to be honest, it was a good match. The Viking Raiders were in control for the start of the match. Then we came back from the commercial break, and Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode were in absolutely the driving seat for this match. Again, I really like the teamwork between Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. I think they're a good tag team. I think they've got great chemistry together. The Viking Raiders really selling. This was a good, for me, this was a better matchup because before the commercial break, the Viking Raiders were in control. Obviously, you have Roode and Ziggler, two good sellers. They can sell and make anyone look really good. And then the Viking Raiders come back after the commercial break. They were in the back. They were backstep. Ziggler and Roode were in control of this match by that point, and it was good to see the Viking Raiders selling. You don't usually get to see them. I've not really seen them much have to sell too much, especially when they were in NXT. They didn't sell too much there, but they did sell really well in this match. The Viking Raiders did manage to get the victory as well, and they announced after the match that they will be challenging Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode for the Raw Tag Team titles next week. Kind of a bit of a spoiler in my opinion now for that one, because obviously we know the draft is on Friday for SmackDown, and it pretty much states that the Viking Raiders will possibly be on Raw for the draft, which makes sense. I think the Viking Raiders need to stay on Raw. I think they need to have strong teams on there, but kind of a kind of spoiler for the draft already, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, you know, good match, good selling by both teams, and we get a good tag team match next week, tag team title match next week for the Raw tag team title. So that's exciting for the Raw side of the draft. Then we had Aleister Black versus the Singh brothers. Before this, Aleister Black cut a promo, very similar to the promos he's cut on SmackDown Live, where he talks about how he's waiting for a challenge. The Singh brothers are in the ring. I haven't really seen the Singh brothers for some couple of months now, so it's good to see them back on TV. It seems like they've completely cut ties with Jinder Mahal. They're now doing their own thing. They're talking about being the best tag team cruiserweight team on 205. Obviously 205 now is going to be cancelled, and they're going to most likely go to NXT, which makes sense. They will work out. I think they'll be really good in NXT tag team division, the Singh brothers. But yeah, they call out Aleister Black. Black answers the call, absolutely destroys. This is a showcase of what Aleister Black has to offer on the table. He takes out both brothers, and he uses a submission finish, which again I think really surprised a lot of people. That Aleister Black used a submission. That was a quick submission finish, and he got the victory. You know, really, I'm happy that we're getting to see Aleister Black on TV, and him showing off a new side to his skills is all the better for me. Next up, we had a 6-man tag team match where we saw the OC versus the Lucha House Party. Again, Lucha House Party haven't been too dominant on TV in recent months, so it was good to see them on TV, and versus the OC, who do need a bit of momentum. I don't really understand what is going on with the OC. But this was a damn good match. This was a really good match because you had the Lucha House Party, who are really good at selling. And they got to show off a lot of ability in this match. I reckon a team will probably split. I think the Lucha House Party probably will split in the draft. I just got a feeling that will happen. But yeah, it was a damn good match. The Lucha House Party got to show off a lot of high-flying moves, got to show off their offensive. The OC didn't dominate as much as I was expecting, and I think as a fan with the OC, again, I just don't understand what is going on with creative and booking them, mainly because with them, they had a lot of momentum when they reformed. They reformed and started the OC up, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows, and you're thinking, oh yeah, this is about time, and then like AJ wins the title, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson win the tag team titles, and then it seems to have fallen apart after that. The OC lost the tag team titles, and they haven't really seemed like they're too bothered about reclaiming the Raw tag team titles. For me, it seems like they're getting ready to move to SmackDown more than anything. I think that is most likely going to be the case. I will do a video of my top 10 picks for both Raw and SmackDown in the upcoming days, so please check that out when it is out. But yeah, very strong. It was a very strong showing for the Lucha House Party. The OC did win in the end. AJ Styles hitting the phenomenal elbow onto Kalisto, knocking him out. The OC wouldn't finish there. They took out the other two members of the Lucha House Party, Grand Metalik and Lance were both taken out by the OC. So this was a strong showing at the end for the OC, but a very strong showing for the Lucha House Party during the match. Next up, we had an interesting one. We started off with Miz TV, and he had a special guest of Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Now, this was really good chemistry. Again, Charlotte and Becky really stating that, yes, they've managed to work together for the last couple of weeks, but they're still rivals, which is great. Becky Lynch states that she is the man. Charlotte saying, you're only the man because I made you the man, which was awesome. Becky says, well, that's the title I made famous, which is true. The SmackDown Women's title is pretty much more famous because of Becky Lynch. Charlotte goes, well, I've held 10 titles more than any other woman. Becky goes, yeah, but mine of all the titles I've held have been more interesting for the fans than actually just holding 10 different title reigns, which is again true. It was really good banter. It was really good promo work from both Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Like, these two were ready to go at it. Then they were interrupted by the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. They cut a promo all in Japanese, which was cool. I like that they're letting Asuka and Kairi Sane just cut promos in Japanese, just like Shinsuke does on SmackDown with him being a heel. That really worked for it because everyone was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Asuka and Kairi Sane are saying something really cool right now. We have not a clue what they're saying. They pretty much get called down to the ring. They start beating each other up. It leads on to the match itself. A very good physical match by all four women. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch really working well as a team here. I really like the aggressive nature of the Kabuki Warriors. Definitely turned a corner since they first turned up on SmackDown Live, where they were a babyface team. They've completely changed now. They are very much a heel team. They've got the gold now, and they're not willing to lose it that easily. Again, obviously, they had to have a way to make both teams look strong, and I think they got a good compromise here. Charlotte Flair's leg got taken out by Kairi Sane. It looked like Becky Lynch was about to take out Kairi with the disarmer. Charlotte distracted the referee, not on purpose because her leg was taken out. The referee had to help her get out of the ring. This allowed Asuka to get enough time to get the green mist in her mouth and spray it into Becky Lynch's face, allowing Kairi Sane to get a quick roll-up pin to win the match. This caused Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to come out. Charlotte Flair did beat down on Asuka and Kairi Sane, but the numbers game didn't help. Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss came down. They beat up on the new women's tag team champions, and they looked strong at the end. Really good segment. It tied up a lot of storylines in here, and obviously the Miz really selling, but actually Charlotte could be drafted to Raw, Becky could be drafted to SmackDown, you two could be on completely different brands. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but right now anything could happen. I like that. I like that the Miz kind of put a pin into things like, oh, you might think they're obviously the women's champions of both brands, but doesn't mean they're not going to get drafted to Raw or SmackDown. Very much keeping that optimistic, this could happen. Very good start, very strong match from all the women involved, and then Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss coming out at the end, continuing that feud with the Kabuki Warriors, really making us women's tag team division actually look like there's a lot going on as well, which is good work. Had a showcase match for the draft. This was Apollo Crews versus Ricochet. I like that they pretty much stated now that there's no one who, everyone's not listed to a brand right now, and that everyone is pretty much a free agent, and this is really good. This is the type of match I was always wanting to see Apollo Crews in, especially against someone like Ricochet, and these two are best friends. If you see them on social media, they're always together. And this was a really good matchup. Apollo got to show off a lot of his ability. Again, just like the Lucha House Party in their matchup, really getting to show what they can do without, even with losing. Like Apollo lost that match against Ricochet, but it was a damn good match, and it was a great showcase match for both men. I definitely liked what Jerry was saying about, look, the Fox executives and the USA Network executives will be checking it. So does that mean the USA Network and the Fox executives will have like a figurehead who they will appoint to do the draft? I'm really excited about the draft because this is really exciting times. Who's going to be like the figurehead for USA Network? Who's going to be the figurehead for, Fox? Be very interesting. I can't wait for Fox's SmackDown Live on Friday. That's going to be exciting. Great matchup between these two. Ricochet did win. Strong match, and really showcasing why Ricochet could possibly go into SmackDown Live. The main event for the show was Tyson Fury coming down to ring. He was interviewed by Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry's been good all night, to be honest with you guys. He made a few mistakes here and there, but he was really good on the whole show, in my opinion. He's talking to Tyson Fury, talks about what happened on Fox. It's SmackDown on last Friday. Tyson Fury states that he was there, he was having a bit of a laugh, and then obviously Braun Strowman took it a bit too far. He lost his cool, he admits he lost his cool, but he wants an apology by Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman comes out, he stated he was just joking around, but Tyson Fury lost it, and now he's here and he doesn't want to give any apology to Tyson Fury. Both men lose their cool, they start getting into a brawl. This is actually really well put together. You have security guards getting there, they try and pull both men back. That doesn't do much. All the security gets their ass kicked by both Braun and Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's selling of the punches, really interesting. You can tell Tyson Fury is trying to hold back on the punches and trying to look like he's beating down, but all it looks like he's hugging Braun Strowman. You know he's not ready yet for in-ring scrap with Braun Strowman. But it was quite funny. I found that quite hilarious. WWE superstars come in, they try and break these two guys up. It looks like they managed to do it. Braun Strowman gets dragged to the back. He's getting interviewed in the back. I mean, he cuts a promo again against Tyson Fury, saying if he ever comes back to the WWE, he'll get these hands. He loses his cool again. He comes back out from backstage. He needs him and Tyson Fury start again, look like they're grappling against each other. And that's it. That ends the show of Raw. Both men being pulled apart yet again by WWE superstars, trying to carry them away from each other. I do have to say one thing. Devon was there. I know he's a backstage producer now, but I heard certain people like screaming, "Devon, get the table!" And I was like, yeah, get the table, Devon, get the table. But yeah, I know it sounds really very stupid that you see a legendary superstar and you just want him to get the table. But that was probably the highlight for me, seeing Devon trying to calm down Braun Strowman. But yeah, good. It was a good interaction between a celebrity and a WWE superstar. I thought it could be a lot worse, but it just was funny, and it is different. And there you go, guys. That was Raw for this week. What did I think? Well, they didn't really talk about the main event. They talked about every other match at Hell in a Cell. They only had like, I think it was like 20 seconds they talked about Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins match at Hell in a Cell, and they really just showed a video package, and that was about it. And you still heard people booing when that video package went up. So yeah, they pretty much put their heads in the sand and did not want to talk about it at all. I think that's the best move they could do right now. There's no way for them to fix what they've done, so if they kind of pretend it never happened, might just help. But yeah, I think this was an okay show. Very much what they were stating all night was this was a showcase show for a lot of superstars for the draft. And it felt like it. It felt like there was a lot of superstars trying to prove something tonight. I think every match had that. And yeah, there was no point where I was disappointed in the show. There was no point where I was like, ah, this is a bit lame. Even the Tyson Fury bit, which I found really silly, still, it was silly, but it was a good type of silly. So for me, yeah. So what am I going to score Raw for this week? Well, I think a fair score is going to be a 2.5 out of 5. I think it was a good show, but again, it doing what it needs to do is pretty much sell what these superstars can do, especially when it comes to draft on Friday. But what was your favourite and worst part of Raw this week, guys? Leave it in the comments below. If you do like these videos, like I say at the start of this video, please like, subscribe and press that bell to keep notified. If you want to follow me on the old Twitter, it's @Boise88. And if you want to follow the channel on Twitter, it's @Smack Talk YouTube. That's a U and a tube. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk's Wrestling Reviews.